Today we're going to take a look at the AD playlist editor, the sign creation software. We're going to be creating a sign for a restaurant, Joe's Barbecue, and this sign will have a little bit of everything to give you a good grounding in how the signs work. It'll have a logo, a slideshow, a video component, and scrolling text. Then after we've created the first version of that sign, we will set up a scheduler and we'll schedule 3 different versions of the sign with a breakfast menu, lunch menu, and dinner menu so that you can get a handle of how a restaurant can easily have the sign change automatically during the day. We'll begin by creating a new GPL, and we will create that in the ratio we want. We're making a kiosk sign today, so we'll create this in the 9:16 ratio. Once we do that, we get a new sign here, and over here we see the setup of the sign. Now, the default is this one section video sign, and we don't want that, so we're going to modify it. Now like I said earlier, we have a header and a video and a slideshow, so we'll take this middle section and we'll choose that. Now that we've done that, we have these tabs, a tab for each section, and let's fill up the sign and we'll work our way down. We'll start with the top section. Now that's the header section, and over here in this window you can see I have a folder where I've separated all my sign components ahead of time. In my header folder, I have the header file for the top section. I'll drag that in, and we're set up there. We have some options that we're not going to need for the header. That's just a static image. Then we'll move down to the next section, which is the video section, and that's got our video menu. So over here, once again, I have that set up separately. I'll start out with the breakfast menu. We'll drop that in there. Again, the video is just going to loop automatically. We don't have to change any of the settings. Now the third section is our slideshow section. So I'll go in here to the different menu items. We'll grab those and we'll drag them in. And now you can see the different slides that we're going to be showing. If you double click on any one of the slides, you'll have a few versions, or choices rather, of things to edit. You can set the duration, and you can also set the transition type. We have to one side or Venetian blinds effect. I usually just go ahead and choose the random transition. And you can of course come through and edit all of these any way you want. Okay, I set all of those for 10 seconds and random transition, and now we'll go down to the final section, the bottom section, the footer section. I'll go here to my footer folder, grab my footer file, and drag that in. Now in this case, that file is more or less blank. It's just got a design because we plan to put some scrolling text on it. So we'll click on scrolling text, and now here we could either browse for a text file or we could just type some text in. Now I'm just going to type a little text in here. And then we'll set our font size to 60. Now normally you probably are going to want to set it to the largest size, and I'm going to set the color to white. In my experience, you're better off just setting the color to a solid color and tossing it over a complementary color. We'll set the scrolling to fast, and the background color and transparency I don't think work quite as well as actually setting a nice footer image and then picking a nice color to go over them. So now our sign is set up. Let's preview it and see how it looks. You can see we've got our logo, nothing changes. We've got our video running behind the menu. Here we have our food item, slideshow, and down at the bottom we have some scrolling text. There you can see the slideshow transitioned randomly to the next food item. That appears to be looking pretty good. Now this preview is not exactly what you're going to see, but it's pretty close. So we'll close that up. And let's save this, and we'll save it in here in this folder as Joe's 2. Hit save, and now we have that GPL, and we could open it up again if we needed to recreate this sign. When we're ready to create the sign, and we are if this is our first single menu sign, we're going to go here and click Save to USB. Now we always need to have this on SW110, but it does default to that, and then we'll pick our flash drive, and you have to have a flash drive in at this step. You can't create this otherwise. So you'll create this on the removable disk and you'll go ahead and hit OK. And that will go through some steps and create the sign onto the flash drive. It will let you know when it's done, and you can simply remove that flash drive from your computer and put it in the sign. That's not actually what we're going to do right now, because we want to take a look at how you could schedule a sign to change, as in this case, for a menu, for a breakfast, lunch, and dinner menu. So the first thing we want to do, if we're going to create breakfast, lunch, and dinner signs, is we'll click on here and we'll schedule this for the morning shift, and then we'll add some other signs to schedule for later in the day. So we'll schedule this for all of August. And then the start time, this is the breakfast menu, so it starts at 8 a.m. and it's going to run until 11 a.m. We're going to leave it in the setup that it was. Click OK, and now we have that scheduled for 8 to 11. Now we're going to want to add another sign, and we'll schedule this one right away as well. Schedule that for August again, all of August. But this time, of course, it'll start at 11. This is going to be the lunch menu, and it'll go until 4 o'clock. We'll choose the same sort of sign, hit OK, and now we're going to recreate the sign that we created before. I'm going to skip ahead. Now in this case, when we get to the video section, we will be using the lunch menu. I mentioned earlier I have several different menus set up. And so now we have this sign. Once again, I'll toss the scrolling text on there. And then we're going to want to add one more sign, so we'll add a third sign. And this one we'll schedule once again for the entire month. But this time we will start at, what did I do before? Start at 4 o'clock and end at 10 o'clock. We have that sign, and then we will once again go through the same sign creation process. Same header. But again, the video, now we're going to use the dinner menu. And the slides are going to be the same. Probably you would have different food items for different times of the day, but I didn't get quite that in depth with this tutorial. And that's how you make your sign. We now have a sign scheduled for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner, and we'll hit save again on the GPL, and then we'll be hitting save to USB, store and go, and off it goes. And it'll take a few minutes to write this disk depending on the speed of your computer, and you're all set to go. Simply remove the flash drive from your computer and insert it into your sign. Thanks for watching.